Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with my very first process video using my March stash kit. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen the stash kit that I put together for March, you can go and check out the video called 6x6 Inspired, and that will show you the kit that I'm working with this month. So first, what I'm going to do here is I've taken the background piece of paper that I'm going to put my layout on, and I am just using a little bit of Heidi Swap Color Shine or Heidi Swap Mist on the background. I have the green color is, I believe, Sweet Mint, and then I have gold, of course. And I'm just doing some splatters in the background. It's just going to add a little bit of interest to the background. You're not really going to see it a whole lot. And I set that aside to dry. Then I just pulled the little tray that I have that I had pulled just the things that I plan to use for this particular layout from my stash kit. And the first thing I showed you there was some 6x6 pattern papers that had balloons cut out of them. I did cut those on my silhouette. I will try to link or put the cut file down on in the description of this video. I believe it was just from the Silhouette store, so I should be able to find it. So once, or while I'm waiting for my background to dry, I'm going to go ahead and I just cut down my photos. I have 2 of them that will go on this layout, and they're going to go just like that, one on top of the other. And I am just trimming them down to 4x4, give or take, and then I'm going to mount them both on this green and cream polka dot paper. So that's what I'm doing here. And these photos are of my son on his 6th birthday. So this was about 2 years ago now. And so I just wanted to, I had not gotten a chance to get these scraps, so I thought they worked with this kit when I was picking photos, and I figured this would be a perfect set of photos to use for a boy layout or a layout that has boys in it. So for this layout, I am kind of sticking with the yellows and blues. Not that I wouldn't, do a layout with flowers or even pink for my son. But in this case, I figured since I had yellows and blues already picked out, that it would be the perfect layout to use for this birthday page. And here I am just showing you, I had this house pattern paper. This is from the Wonder Collection, I believe. And I knew I wanted to use it, and I wanted to fussy cut the first 2 rows of that paper. So I didn't show me fussy cutting all that out because that's a little boring to watch. So I went ahead and did that off camera, and then there you see it. It is all cut, and I am just inking all of the edges now that I have my background paper dry and that cutout of the little houses. I'm just inking everything in the Vintage Photo Distress ink. And so I'm going to start kind of laying out and assembling how I want the base of this layout to go. I have a scrap of this yellow, I believe that was a Glitz design paper. And I want to, this really isn't serving any purpose other than I just want a little bit more interest on the background of the layout. And so I just cut a strip of it there, and I'm just going to put it in behind the top of those houses and underneath my photos. And the photos kind of slip in, not fully having any of it hidden by those tops of those houses, but it kind of just slides in, and we're just like a small tiny bit of it's kind of tucked under the roofs of the houses in that paper. So I'm just going to get that all cut down or stuck down, and then trim the side that was a little long. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my photos down. And then here I'm just going to do what I have been doing, where I am going to lay out how I want to lay out my page. And then I will stop the camera and proceed to glue everything down, so you don't have to kind of watch that tedious process. So I do a lot of shifting right now of how I want to place all these pieces. I'm using a lot of vellum pieces, and this is sort of my biggest cluster down here on the right, bottom right of this layout. And then I'll have two other sort of clusters on this page as well. This page turned out to be probably one of my more busier pages, and so you'll see as we go along what I mean by that. So I'm working on here on the left mid section of that, the two photos. I have another cluster there, and then I'll have another smaller cluster there at the top. And I will say I had pulled some embellishments for this page, and some of them I ended up cutting pieces of them off. I definitely encourage, and you've probably heard others say that, I encourage if you have an embellishment and it isn't working the length that it is or anything like that, make sure you don't be afraid to like cut them apart. I used to never want to do that with my embellishments, but now, especially these being in my stash for a while, I totally am all about cutting up and using just the pieces that I want of any of my embellishments now. So while I was mentioning that, I am showing you here what I'm going to do with those balloon die cuts that I made on my silhouette. And basically I am taking a piece of twine there, and I've put it around where the bottom, where you tie like a string onto the end of the balloon. I'm doing the same thing with the twine, and I'm going to stick it on the back of the balloon with a little piece of washi, and then I'm going to glue the twine at the tail just so it stays and looks like it's actually behind the balloon, like almost like I've tied it and this is hanging down. And I really love the texture that adding this twine to the bottoms of these balloons and having it hanging down adds to the layout. Like I said, it does make this layout a whole lot busier, but I really love it. So here I've glued everything down and I'm just showing you, and I love how it turned out. This is sort of outside of my normal style, which I really love. And so the twine really adds a whole lot to those balloons, and I really love how it turned out. So now that I have everything glued down, I am going to work on my title, and the title is super original. It just says Birthday Boy. I did decide while I was gluing everything down that I hadn't put the number of how old my son was in these pictures anywhere on the layout, so I took one of my thickers in the number 6 and my Martha Stewart scallop punch, and I just cut that out and stuck that on the balloon that's right beside the larger balloon that will hold my title. And so I fiddle around here with this title, and I made it sort of a bouncing baseline title. Because the layout is already playful, I wanted the title to be playful too, so it kind of bounces up and down. And those letter stickers are not sticky at all. So after the video is over, I do go and have to put a little bit of glue on those. And so here I am sticking down that 6 and putting that scallop circle on that green balloon, because I definitely know that I want that to stay there. And the whole time that I'm doing these finishing touches, here I have some word stickers, and these are all party words. I think one says cake, one says decorations, and I can't remember what the other one says. But while the whole time I'm doing this, while I'm putting these down and kind of deciding where everything is, I am trying to figure out how I want to continue to further embellish that title balloon. I have a gold star thicker on the balloon right now, and then I have some wood veneer stars on the balloon as well, and I just can't decide if I like them. So there you just saw me kind of put my finger up, and it kind of got cut off by the camera, but there I had remembered that, hey, my 3 embellishment clusters have these sequin gold stars. Why don't I grab those? And so that's what I end up doing. I took the wood veneer off and put them with the two of my clusters, and then I took the gold star thicker off, and I replaced all 3 of them on the big balloon with the star sequins, and I really like how that ended up turning out. So I'm just going to go here and glue down now all the wood veneer where I've decided that they're going to be. And I think on camera I do glue down the sequins, and I do continue to sort of think, do I need to add something else? I think in my head I was thinking, do I need to add something else on the balloons? But I'm glad that I didn't in the end. This layout is definitely a lot busier than a lot of my layouts are. And so I really like how this one turned out. It's fun and it's playful, and it turned out perfect for me for a birthday layout. So I'm just going to take one last look at it and decide I like it and call it good. So here are the still photos, and if you like this video, make sure that you subscribe so you can see what else I end up creating with my March stash kit. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.